ministerial panel, which will be chaired, stroke moderated by Honorable Etienne Sintabayo, the Minister of Social Security, National Solidarity, and Environment and Sustainable Development of the Republic of Mauritius. Your Excellency, I hand over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon to you all, and welcome to this last working session of the day. That is, we are just about 60 minutes from the cocktail being offered by the government of Mauritius. I'm sure you will appreciate that after this long day. The purpose of this ministerial session is to have a high-level political dialogue and try to reach a policy consensus on how the ocean economy can accelerate economic growth and development, and also the opportunities and challenges, and how regional cooperation can be enhanced in this regard. May I first start by introducing the panel of this afternoon. To my right, we have the first absentee. He is the Honourable Minister of Ocean Economy, Marine Resources, Fisheries, and Shipping. So I'm sure he will be joining us in a few minutes. Second to my right is Honourable Manish Gobin, the Attorney General, Minister of Justice, Human Rights, and Institutional Reforms of the Republic of Mauritius. To my immediate left is Mr. Jean-Richard Payendi, the Commissioner for Environment, Forestry, Tourism, Marine Parks and Fisheries of the Rodrigues Regional Assembly. And second to my left is His Excellency Ambassador Shanfi Ismail from the Comoros. So I must say my first question was to be addressed to my absentee to my right. I'll do justice to the Attorney General and not put that first question to him. However, if maybe we'll try to be more specific to the Attorney General, because since he's involved with lawmaking, we should perhaps mention the SDGs. So go straight away to SDG number 14, and my good friend, the Honourable Minister of Ocean Economy, Marine Resources, Fisheries and Shipping is arriving. I think we should give him a big clap. I am sure you will understand. Anything that this minister does, I understand. Because he's one of the few guys I know who's done many, many ministries in this country, and he's now still the minister of a strong pillar of the economy at the age of 75. So you will appreciate why. So, Minister, I had introduced the panel. I also introduced you in your absence, explained that you were on your way. I also explained what the purpose of this ministerial session is about. I in particular encouraged our attendees to be patient because we are only now about 55 minutes from the cocktail. And if you don't mind, I will just ask you the first question. The first question, which would be as follows. The Organization of the Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, has estimated that the ocean economy contributes approximately $1.5 trillion to the world economy every year. Now, Honourable Minister, what are the economic opportunities that you see in our ocean resources? How can regional cooperation be promoted for the optimal exploitation of the resources? And what are your future projections on it? You are invited to go to the lectern so that, if you want to, of course. Everything is allowed for you, sir.
Should I give the answers one by one? Or?
Yes. In fact, I put in three questions in one, so we'll have three replies in one.
Should I
You're most welcome, sir.
With all in one, with your permission? Well, I will start with my colleague and the Baldi friend, Etienne Sinatambu. He's the Minister of Environment and the National Solidarity as well as Sustainable Development. On my right side, you have got my good friend and a young friend, Mr. Manish, Honorable Manish. Manish Gobin, Attorney General, Minister of Justice, Human Rights, and International Reforms. You have got also His Excellency, the Ambassador Chanfi Ismail, the representative of the government of Comoros, my good friend from Rodrigue, Jean-Richard Payendi, who is the Commissioner of Fisheries in Rodrigue Regional Assembly, and naturally all of us, of you rather, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start. I've got few notes, with your permission, Chair. I'll take some few minutes to elaborate the whole thing in about 10 minutes. Well, it is a pleasure for me to see you again. Yesterday we met, and today I think things are becoming more serious because my good friend has just put the thing straight to you that we're having a cocktail. That is the motive, I believe. Good. Let me go straight to the question, and I must say about Mauritius, as I said yesterday, that we have a new ministry in Mauritius with this new government in the form of an ocean economy. And Mauritius manages a zone of 2.3 million square kilometers. And hence, ocean economy offers huge opportunities for boosting economic growth, empowerment, and innovation. As part of the new economic strategy, the government of Mauritius is leveraging the economic opportunities that Mauritius has as an ocean state with the three main pillars, including the ocean economy, the marine hub, and also the Africa strategy. The ocean is expected to contribute significantly in accelerating our economic development and transformation and achieving the set of goals which are: first, important goal is to maximize the value from marine sector through sustainable economic diversification. Second, create a high value onshore and offshore jobs. Third, contribute significantly to food security through sustainable utilization and management of marine resources. And last, enhance energy security via the development of marine rental energy, or rather renewable energy. Ladies and gentlemen, currently the ocean economy's share of GDP is estimated as around 10%, of which 90% currently comes from the three established sectors. One, the coastal tourism and marine leisure. Second, the seaport-related activities. And the third, seafood-related activities. Emerging activities of the ocean economy, such as deep ocean water applications, DOA, the marine renewable energy, ocean knowledge, seabed exploration for hydrocarbon, and the minerals, maritime ICT, maritime finance and insurance, maritime biotechnology are new economic opportunities for diversification and expected to double the contribution of the ocean economy in the medium and long term. The gross value added from the ocean economy stood at 44 billion rupees in 2017, that is last year. It is expected that an average annual growth rate of 5% will be targeted, increasing thereafter to 7% in 2030. With a view to facilitating the emergence of the ocean economy as a new growth pillar, government has created a new ministry since December 2014 to formulate and implement the appropriate policies. The government has the vision to develop the ocean economy and the ocean assets of Mauritius into one of the innovative pillars of our economy. And we believe that the real miracle will come from our ocean economy. And it's not only for Mauritius. I believe that for the whole globe, for the whole world, the ocean are the source for development, for feeding people, and also for maintaining the imported balance in the sea, in the ocean. The government has the vision to develop the ocean assets of Mauritius into one of the innovative pillars in our economy. In this context, we have identified long-term investment opportunities in the key sectors, including the following: port infrastructure development, marine ICT, offshore renewable energy, and capacity building. Ladies and gentlemen, and dear friends, I wish to point out that for Mauritius, fisheries is one of the mainstays of the ocean economy. It has an annual turnover of about 28 billion rupees. Exports value amounts to 14 billion rupees, which represent around 20% of the national exports. The direct and indirect employment in the sector is around 22,000 rupees for a population of 1 million persons. In the same way, aquaculture is projected to continue to grow rapidly, opening new avenues for export diversification and food security, which I believe is very, very important, especially to our continent, to Africa. With a view to increasing production and trade of fish and fish products, various measures have been implemented since 2015, a couple of years back, and include, among others, first, the grants to the purchase of cannot by fishers or fishermen. I won't say fishermen because I will have problem with the ladies, so I'll say fisher, right? Semi-industrial vessels for cooperative sectors from the development of national feed. 18 sites have been allocated for aquaculture projects. Development of a new port master plan to cater for additional fisheries activities, and also reinforcement of the legislative framework of the competent authority. As such, emerging ocean activities include, and this is important, the implementation of DOA projects which will enhance our capacity to expand our renewable sources of energy. This sector has the potential to facilitate the emergence of numerous new industries such as the high-end aquaculture and seaweed culture, cosmetics and pharmaceuticals, agrochemicals, water bottling, and last but not least, very important, thalassotherapy. It is in the pipeline. A pilot project of development of wave energy has been completed in Mauritius, in Subiac. In parallel, Mauritius seaport has the potential to play a key role in ocean economy development, primarily through the expansion of Mauritius' role as a hub for global trade flows, including container and fish transshipment and re-exporting of petroleum products, in addition to strengthening our international and regional networking. We are boosting our research capacities and capabilities in the ocean economy, such as surveying closely ballast water and biofouling in the port. These are very important to escape from our port, our harbor, getting polluted and becomes very, very dangerous for the health of our people. Dear friends, it is important to note that illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, marine pollution, the impacts of climate change has serious threats to our marine ecosystem, and this is quite important. In this context, keeping oceans and their resources healthy, productive, and resilient has become a matter of national security. Mauritius is also committed to develop a marine spatial planning for the EEZ. Mauritius has also taken several measures which include implementation of a climate change adaptation program in the coastal zone of Mauritius to cope with the sea level rise and to increase climate change resilience, and carrying out coastal adaptation works such as planting of mangroves and creepers and coral farming in ocean-based nurseries to restore the degraded coral reefs around the island. Capacity development of the coastal protection and the rehabilitation of project in Mauritius is underway. Marine ranching for fingerlings related in marine park and fishing reserves to enhance and sustain marine resources are carried out. The clean ocean economy, long-term potential cannot be fully realized unless more effectively steps are taken to improve integrated ocean management at a local, regional, and international level. Ladies and gentlemen, our capacity and ability to fully realize the economic potential of this region will increasingly depend on a coordinated and inclusive approach. This platform is an ideal opportunity to embark in more intense networking as well as strategic collaboration to achieving an inclusive blue economy in this region. The regional cooperation for optimal and sustainable exploitation of those resources can be centered around sharing of knowledge, experiences, and best practices, capacity building program in research and development, pooling resources to address transboundary challenges such as IUU fishing, marine pollution, as well as climate change impacts. Trade in marine products can create opportunities for economic growth, export diversification, and new investment. In this context, trade facilitation for marine products should be high in our agenda. This strategy will accelerate our regional integration and prosperity. I'm sorry I've taken so much time, Chair, but I wish you all a very, very fruitful deliberation, and naturally we'll have a very good cocktail in the evening. Am I right? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Obviously, we can see that there are so many opportunities to tap. But our next speaker, the Honourable Attorney General, Minister of Justice and Human Rights, will be telling us more about the threats, the challenges. Indeed, Honourable Minister, it is said that more than 3 billion people depend on marine and coastal diversity for their livelihoods. Today, we are seeing nearly a third of the world's fish stocks being overexploited. We are also told that oceans absorb about 30% of the carbon dioxide that humans produce. But we are now producing far more carbon dioxide than ever before. And I understand that this makes our oceans more acidic, I'm told, by more than 26% since the start of the Industrial Revolution. So, Honourable Minister, the issue of ocean sustainability clearly seems to be a major concern to us as we tap heavily into our ocean resources. What would you say are the policy initiatives in Mauritius and the coastal states in addressing this? Over to you, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Honourable Minister and Chair, for keeping the difficult question for me. When we talk of the sustainability, I immediately think of the octopus in Rodrigues. My good friend Richard and my senior Prem later will tell you the story of the Rodrigues octopus. It is a story of vision, leadership, and planning. Vision as to sustainable production of food in the form of octopus. And the realization that if we continue with the same production methods as now, we will no longer have the Rodrigues octopus in what, 10, 20 years. That is, in one lifetime, in this very generation, we will no longer have the Rodrigues octopus, which is a delicacy. And it is a very simple example, but it illustrates how you put into practice the concept of sustainability and sustainable production. There was a paradigm shift, and this happened with, and that's the important part, after vision and leadership, is where are we going? The policies were implemented with the participation of the population. And today the population is saying, yes, you did well, let us continue, and let us replicate the success story of the Rodrigues octopus in other spheres. So Richard maybe later will tell us about what the production was and what it became only 1 year after this paradigm shift. Coming back to the sustainability, we immediately link it. The second point I want to make is we link it with the Sustainable Development Goals. And the issues of sustainable oceans, life below water, and responsible production. And from the realization that we are indeed talking about sustainable development goals, we must realize and incorporate in our policy decisions that achieving the sustainable development goals is not the business of only one ministry or one agency. It is impossible. Realization of the sustainable development goals is multi-sectoral. We have seen in many countries, when I talk to my friends abroad, all ministries fight each other. Who will champion? Who will lead the SDGs? You can't find one. You can't find one. Now, once you realize this, that it is a multi-sectoral issue, then this is what you do as a policy decision is, by way of illustration, you do what the Honorable Prime Minister of Mauritius has done by revamping, I will say why I use the word revamping later, the National Environment Commission. Now, the National Environment Commission is a multi-sectoral commission composed of a number of agencies. I don't even know the amount, exact amount. 18 in all. Thank you, Etienne. Where each one then contributes in all those complex matters. Now, why I say revamp, it's because such a commission was existent, but dormant for more than, 12 years, I think. And it was revamped. Once again, a question of vision and leadership, chaired by the Prime Minister himself, so that all cross-sectoral issues and policy decisions can be debated, discussed, and decisions taken. It's not only about the sustainability of the production of octopus, but it cuts across a number of other issues, whether it's pollution, recycling of wastes, protection of coasts, coral reefs, and all those issues mentioned by my colleague Prem just before me. So that's at local, at I would say national level, is to realize where we are and where we will be if we continue with the same methods as we have been doing so far, and have a clear vision if we do not want to be there, that very bad place where we will no longer have enough food, fish, or we will no longer have coral reef to protect our lagoons, then we better change it now. And to change it now, you need this multi-sectoral platform to change things, and change things very quickly. The second point about sustainability is, and I speak only now for Mauritius, is to realize that when you are small as Mauritius in terms of land territory, you face tremendous consequences on issues like climate change, rising sea levels, and food production in the maritime zone. And the immediate conclusion is that regional cooperation is essential. And when we look around us, we are not the only vulnerable islands in the Indian Ocean. And when we look around us, we see that our neighbors, the Indian Ocean countries, also face the same difficulties. This has led to the regional policy decision that, at the level of Indian Ocean Commission, all countries will come together to champion sustainable oceans. Because if we, Mauritius, represent 2.3, yes, 2.3 million square kilometers. If we add the numbers for the IOC countries, the Indian Ocean Commission, you are above 10 million square kilometers. Sustainability is the business of the national policy making, but also regional policy making. It is when we come together that we will be able to bring meaningful change and share success stories, share concerns, and learn from best practices of small island developing states like us. And the best platform we have seen where things can be done and things work is the IOC. And this model can be replicated, of course, with other neighboring countries as well. Now, the third point about the sustainability, for the point I want to make, keeping in mind the minutes going by, is the question of not only production, responsible consumption, and environment protection, but very important for us in the Indian Ocean is the question of maritime safety and security. This has to be very high on the agenda, and it is very high on our agenda, because without maritime safety and security, you will have no safe trade routes on the seas. You will have no safe fishing by vessels, or whether by local fishers or regional or bigger fishing vessels. The question of safety and security. And I'm not only talking about piracy. I'm talking of IUUs, the illegal and regulated fishing, for example. I'm talking about all sorts of illegal trafficking, human, arms, drugs. And here I must pause to open a bracket that to commend all the efforts of a number of countries, including our European partners, in making the contact group on piracy off the coast of Somalia a success. Now, the work of the contact group has been such that the region has, the number of cases of piracy has steadily declined, has become safer, which means it is a region where we can police our seas, regulate fishing, for example, chase away all those illegal fishing vessels, raking the seas and taking everything away without even thinking of any sustainability issues at all. So when we put all this together, then I think we can achieve responsible production and sustainability of our maritime resources. That is a clear vision and leadership at local, national level, and decision-making at multi-sectoral platform, regional cooperation on the same issues, and addressing at the same time the question of maritime safety and security. If, in my humble opinion, these three are addressed in a timely manner, we can achieve the sustainability of our marine resources. And this can then be replicated elsewhere. This is my humble contribution to you this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Our third panelist, Mr. Jean-Richard Payendi, is the Commissioner for Environment, Forestry, Tourism, Marine Parks and Fisheries at the Rodrigues Regional Assembly. Quite a number of portfolios, you will agree. Now, I must say I was a little bit confused when I spoke to the Commissioner. I told him, Commissioner, you will have 10 minutes maximum to share the experience of the island of Rodrigues with us. And he said to me, well, I've got a 12-minute film. So I will try to gear a question. We should allow him to give us that 12-minute video for you to see. Because he told me that one image is worth 1,000 words. So I'm telling you how much this 12-minute video is worth. Commissioner, it is said that the notion of the blue economy and the need to stimulate blue growth was first raised during the 2012 UN Conference on Sustainable Development, also known as Rio+20, which aimed at capturing the potential for maritime-based activities and resources to stimulate economic growth and significantly contribute to sustainable development. Now here comes the question, has the island of Rodrigues embarked upon the development of the blue economy? And if so, what are the challenges and opportunities, sir? Over to you.
Thank you very much, Chair, Ministers, Ambassador, all people here. It's a pleasure for me to be here and to be able to share with you the experience of Rodrigues. Rodrigues, I don't know if you know about Rodrigues. Maybe Rodrigues is something new to you, or maybe you have seen a small dot, you know, on the map of the world. It's a small, very small island, 108 kilometers square, which belongs to the Republic of Mauritius, but which is autonomous, which means that we have our own assembly and our own government, sort of, and I'm one of the commissioners. We don't have ministers, but we have commissioners, and we have a chief commissioner who is responsible of the island. So for a change, I came here and I want to show you, I've been to several workshops, I've been to conferences, but most of the time you have people in front of their computers or their telephones and not listening. If I do a PowerPoint, then people read what's written there and don't listen to what I say. So that's why I'm changing a bit of the style. So I will take the microphone and I will just walk down here to be more at ease. And I hope everybody just listen to me. Thank you. Okay, I'll just start with this one. So, I'm here to talk a little bit about Rodrigues and what we've achieved. But the film that you will see is a film which I made myself. And I'm not just a politician, I'm a technician. I've been working in the field of environment for years. I'm a professional diver, and I made the film myself, so that's why I want you to look at it. While you look at the film, don't look at your computers, then you listen to me. The only actor is me. So you look at the film, and before I go further, just a small question. How many of you have been underwater, knows exactly what we're talking about today? Just lift your hand. I would like to see how many people know. And if it's good for me to introduce this film, because this film is all about underwater. That's good.
I've been in my bath.
So there's not a lot of people that knows. This mic, is it ready? There's not a lot of people who has been underwater. Even if we are talking about ocean economy, we're talking about what's happening. We look at the sea from the mountains, and what we see is, we talk like this, we see, we have a nice ocean. It's great. It's true. Yes, that's better. We say it's great, we have a nice ocean. Look at this, ocean economy. And I don't like this word, ocean economy, this sentence. Economy is more like exploitation, money, but it's not really. People think that it's a nice, but for me it's not. We should have, maybe in the future, have another term which qualifies the thing well. So can we put the film on, please? Just listen a little bit of the music. I want you to listen a bit of this is my music. This is the music of my country. Because we have a cocktail after that. If you want to try to dance, I can show you. Just a couple of minutes of 30 seconds of this music loud. Can you put it loud? That's good, that's good, that's good. So what you see here, as it's written in French, so many people of you maybe won't even be able to understand what's written. This is a film I made. I'll just move here for you to see. Yeah, this is a film I made as a diver, as someone who likes the ocean, likes my country. I didn't know what would happen after that. This is all my presentation will be on that. Look, maybe those of you who have never been, this is a nice coral reef with 100% live corals. Nice, very nice. No one is looking at their computer, that's great. So this is what it was, how it was before. This is finished, I will tell you. Some of you maybe will cry when you will see what will happen. So the challenges is big. So continue to watch the film, enjoy the nice corals, while I'll speak a bit on what we are doing on Rodrigues. When it comes to the other problem, then I'll shift to the problems. Continue to watch the nice beauty, because this is over. You don't see this anymore. This is the last time. If you want a copy of this, you can. There's no copyright. There's copy left. You can take it and use it wherever you want. So I made this film to show my kids, who are also divers now, to show people the beauty of the ocean. But then, one day, I saw the whole lagoon, the whole reef becoming white. I said, what's happening? You may have heard about coral bleaching. Don't know, maybe you heard about it. But maybe, I don't know if you've seen it, how it is. I will show it to you today. So, in my country, the Minister Gobin just said it, we've done a lot, because I'm also Commissioner for Environment and Fisheries. So I'm very much more towards the environment part of the fisheries. So what we've been doing is, the octopus fishery, at some point of the history of Rodrigues, we need to export a lot of octopus to Mauritius. Unfortunately, within some time, talking about, again, at that time it was ocean economy. It was the ocean bringing lots of money to the people of Rodrigues. The octopus is nice, very nice. Tourists come there to eat the octopus. But then at some point, we dropped from 800 tons a year to 100. And then, after some studies, we started to grab some data. This morning we've been lots of people have been talking of data collection, universities involved. We collected some data, and then we saw that most of the octopus being captured have not even reached the age or the size to reproduce, which means that the industry was finished. We had 3 years left, and then this is what made me became a politician. I was a technician at that time. I said, something has to be done. So I said, no longer working for wildlife, no longer working for rare plants. I'm going to work for my country. So I'm going to go and do something. Elected, 3 months later, I closed the fisheries, octopus fishery. closed within 2 months. For 2 months, we closed the thing. The result was tremendous. But just to tell you, during these 2 months, I couldn't go out of my house at night mainly. There was a concert. I like Bob Marley. I like this reggae music. There was a nice concert. I couldn't go there because the fishermen would kill me. So my wife I said, I'm going to go. I don't know what you say that. Mettre perruque. Comment dire ça en anglais? Eh? How do you say that in English? Perruque. So I don't know this term because I never use it in English. So I said, nobody will recognize me if I become a Rasta. Yeah? But no, my wife said, you would be killed. Just to show you something, you see this? This is very, very rare. A small animal there with like a flower on the back. Yeah? Very, very rare. All my life as a diver, I've dived for 30 years. I've seen it only twice. So, just to tell you what we've lost. Let the film continue. Continue to watch the film, but listen to me. So I didn't go to this concert. I was very, very sad. 2 months. There was a guy who said, I would kill you. One of the fishermen said that. I said, okay. I will die for a good cause. No problem, dying. After the 2 months, the biggest octopus we got was 12 kilos. You imagine? We used to fish octopus of not even 1 kilo. We went to 12 in 2 months' time. And then I said, after the closure, we went for the opening of octopus. We had the president of Mauritius in Rodrigues. The guy was holding the octopus like this. Incredible. And even the good thing about this is, when I went to the guy who said he would kill me, he went to me like this, and I said, I had to be careful. This guy is coming after the opening. Eh? And then he shook my hand. He said, I'm sorry for that. I didn't know that it would work. This is very important. This is what's happening after that. Now it comes to the bad thing. This is what we call coral bleaching. When it is the same site. This film is about the same site, filmed in 3 occasions. That is nice, still nice, no problem of climatic change, no problem of then starting the problem. You still see some red, a bit red, yellow. It's losing its color. So this is coral bleaching. The same site, but don't be shocked with the bit which will follow. So continue to the octopus thing. We went for a night dive, and then after the night dive, those of you who knows about diving, I had my tank, and then there was a lot of nice small things on that, fluorescent, and then somebody said, there's a lot of tiny things on your tank. It's the first time I saw this. And then we looked at it closely. It was small octopus. Thousands of small octopus. And then we said, yes, it has worked. And then there was a lot of work to do, to have to remove one by one, to put back in the sea. So this octopus fishery is very important for us. And now, this is what happened after the bleaching. Do you recognize the site? You recognize it? It's the same site. All these nice corals dead. And this is what's happening in our ocean. This is what's happening. We sit down, we look at the ocean, we say, yes, this is what will happen when we have a nice project this morning I was listening. Yes, nice new opportunities without thinking of the damages that will happen, which can be irreversible. This is irreversible. No one can take this back. Now we're doing a bit of coral planting. This is what everybody does. But El Nino will come back in 3-4 years. All the small corals will die. And this is over. You can't even save it. So I think regionally, we need to continue to share. I'm sharing a success story with you. So anyone who is interested to come and visit Rodrigues we are at the closing period now, and Mauritius have done the same thing, thanks to Minister Kunju. So anyone who wants to come and see, we will open on the 10th of October. If you come, you will be amazed with the amount of octopus that we have. I have only banned plastic bags on Rodrigues. If you come to Rodrigues, there's no plastic bags. Not a single plastic bag you will see. We've closed. Banned completely. And now I'm banning all these takeaways. You know that takeaways? All this cause problem to the ocean economy. So we are banning this. We are banning all plastic cutleries, cups. No more of this on this island. The good thing is, now people do not want to kill me. They have seen that we are doing some good things for the island, and people want this thing to continue. You see, lots of algae and no fish at all. Any project with the idea, even the aquaculture, people are talking a lot of aquaculture. I won't tell you what I think about it, but we have to, put it in a balance. Not just go for it like this. Sharks is a big problem with this. Lots of places are suffering. Réunion, for example, the tourist industry is dead because people do not want to go there. Sharks are eating them, So I think for the ocean economy to be on the right track, what we need to do is it has to be accompanied with scientific data collection. The thing has to be well prepared, not just go and look at the money that we will get out of it. This is what makes a lot of people, a lot of countries, politicians also, yes, we get a lot of money. Money is nothing. If you dive and you see this, then you cry. The first time I saw this, I cried because no one could see me crying underwater. And then you don't know what this is, crying underwater, sensation that you get. You can remove your mask and cry, so people don't see there's water outside, water inside, no problem. But inside it's burning. So you have to be very careful with projects. Whenever we want to go towards, I'm not saying we should do nothing, I'm saying we should do, but we need to be careful. There's a big word of, I will end here, because I had only 12 minutes, I could speak for more. But my last word is for any project that we will go for, there's a big word of caution that you need to sit down and think. Thank you very much.
This is what we call a multi-talented commissioner. 5 portfolios: environment, forestry, tourism, marine parks and fisheries, a diver, musician, a narrator, and a joker. Now, last but not least, we will hear Ambassador Chanfi Ismail from the Comoros. As we should be aware, maritime zones under Africa's jurisdiction cover about 13 million square kilometers, including approximately 6.5 million square kilometers over the continental shelf. 38 out of the 54 African states are coastal states, and the continent hosts a globally acclaimed set of islands, including Mauritius, the Comoros, Seychelles, and Madagascar. So, Your Excellency, I think we would all like to hear the initiatives which the Comoros have been undertaking with regard to developing its ocean resources and the challenges that it is facing. Over to you, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, Honorable Ministers of the Republic of Mauritius, Commissioner for Environment, distinguished delegates from member states here present, distinguished members of the UNECA team here with us, Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm very much humbled to be here in this round table and represent my country, the Union of Comoros, on behalf of my minister, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who has not been able to join with us due to other responsibilities. Actually, he's abroad traveling. This roundtable is on the theme of blue economy, inclusive industrialization, and economic development in Southern Africa, as has been the theme for the past 2 days. So allow me, before I start, to take this opportunity to extend our sincere thanks to the government of the Republic of Mauritius and to UNECA for the way they have welcomed all of us here and for facilitating our stay for this wonderful conference. Mr. Chair, this conference for my country comes at a very opportune moment because my country has just embarked on the process of having a strategy on blue economy. With the support of UNECA, my country has been able to draft a strategy on blue economy, and actually the strategy has been adopted and is now in place. The strategy has been adopted because it goes in line with the vision of the government of the Comoros to transform the country into an emerging country by the years 2030. And also because we've been having a national dialogue, actually making the assessment of 43 years of independence, and one of the recommendations made by the national dialogue was to make sure that the opportunities, the potential of the sea is now put into practice and assist in the development of the country. So the strategy has been developed and is now in place. It has come with the opportunities and the challenges, and the focus are on main objectives. First of all, to strengthen the national security and safety. Without security and safety, there's nothing possible to be done, and no economic development is not possible. To develop the key sectors of blue economy, for example, agriculture, tourism, transportation, in a way to ensure the training of the youth and create jobs for the youth. Our youth represent 63% of the total population, which is a huge responsibility for the government. But also the protection of the ecosystems. The Comoros is known to be a country who gives shelter to a number of species, including a prehistoric fish which is called the solar cant. We have to take care of these species, so the ecosystems has to be dealt with maximum caution. And the development of the institutional framework to sustain this new economy and make sure that it goes in line with the strategy and produces to the best of the expectation. And then regional cooperation has been set as one of the main objectives, because without cooperation, we think there is not much we can do, and we need to rely on cooperation, as has been discussed this morning during the session. So, Mr. Chair, to implement these strategic objectives, my country needs the support of all those who are ahead of us. We've had this morning, and actually in this roundtable, the experiences of countries of the region within the Indian Ocean Commission, who have gained much experience and can really assist other countries, mainly the Comoros, in the way forward. So we put the emphasis on the support of others who are ahead of us within the Indian Ocean Commission, within the Indian Ocean Rim, and in in the continent at large. I've been able to, during this morning, to see how much emphasis have been put and laid on the need to cooperate, to share knowledge, share experiences and best practices, and have understood that this forum has actually concluded on cooperation as the way forward. And actually, it is the way forward. And with that, I have understood that the worries of my country and our respective countries are fully catered for and will be fully addressed. I know that the Union of Comoros and our respective countries can fully rely on the support of all of us, of this forum and other fora who will take the conclusion of this conference forward for implementation. So without taking much of your time, I would simply like to say thank you for inviting the Comoros to be here, to take part to this round table. And thank you very much for giving importance on how cooperation is central for the future of blue economy, for the future of our economies. So again, thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and may God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador. We still have time for some questions. The cocktail is served in 15 minutes. So I see there's a lady who enjoyed that. So if you don't mind, we, on this side of the panel, we would like to have the distinguished officials to put some questions to members of the panel. And what I propose is that we take a few questions in a row, and then we'll give replies. The floor is open. Yes, the gentleman from the African Development Bank, if that's correct. Yes, sir, it's over to you.
There's a mic. Yeah.
If it doesn't work, you can come to the lectern.
Thank you very much, honorable ministers. I have a question for the Minister of Finance, and that question is linked to two things. One is, how does Mauritius see the role of regional integration in the context of the Africa policy? Are we going to, for example, implement the CFTA quite quickly? And the second one is on the issue of issues of financing. What would you see the role of the likes of the ADB and the other multilateral banks in this process going forward? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Another question, please. Yes, the gentleman from Zimbabwe. Yes, sir, please.
Honorable Chairman, the blue economy offers, amongst others, it offers hydrocarbons, it offers fish, it offers scenery, but as the Honorable Commissioner mentioned, one has to look at the costs and benefits that come with balancing, for example, hydrocarbons against the need to preserve the ecosystem and the beauty that comes with it. How is that balance in terms of experience undertaken? Because if you find, you make a gas or oil find, the pressure is on a nation to exploit that, and sometimes it's actually imperative to do so. But at the same time, there are these challenges that come with environmental degradation and the impact on the ecosystem. How has been the experience in trying to balance these imperatives? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I see another gentleman.
Dr. Monet from Seychelles. We watched the film about the coral bleaching. When did it start in Rodrigues? Is that correct? And what's happened since? Because in Seychelles we also had episodes of coral bleaching, but also recovery. And second question is, to what extent this is linked to industrial or coastal development in Mauritius itself? Thank you.
Thank you. I think we can hand over to the panelists to give some replies. First question on the implication of Mauritius with regard to regional integration. Does Honorable Govin wish to reply?
I venture an answer. I think it's, of course, Mauritius has as a priority also the integration within the African Union, of course, and the CFTA, for instance, Mauritius stands all for. May I, if you allow me, link the question from the AFDB and the question from the Honorable Delegate from Zimbabwe. On the one hand, the first question was about what's the role of institutions like ADB for financing, and the question from the Honorable Delegate from Zimbabwe about how to balance the imperatives. I think it's all about responsible investment. What is responsible investment? It is an investment in any project, but in a responsible manner, that is, taking into consideration environmental issues, the labor standards, for example, sustainability, recycling of wastes, and all that all put together. This is responsible investment. And I am not inventing a new term of art. I think this concept is being championed by the United Nations Environment Programme. And how are the two questions linked, and what's the role of a financing institution? I think a financing institution should ensure that before an approval for a finance or for a grant is given, issues of recycling, issues of protection of the environment have been addressed before you advance the money for the project. And in the same way, you can therefore balance the imperatives between, let us say, a hydrocarbon project and issues of sustainability. It can be done. If from the financing institution itself, you insist that I am not going to finance you if you do not recycle your waste. The project will go ahead if there is a recycling plant. I can give many examples like that. So all go hand in hand, from conceptualization of a project, financing of the project, and execution of the project. Issues of sustainability, responsible production should be on the table. If we are talking also of CFTA, I think there are. We will have to take it at Council of Ministers meeting. CFTA is a very good project for integration of the African Union. But there are issues we have left out. We will have to address it. For example, on the issue of sustainability, on the issue of, well, I don't want to say more here, because there are loopholes we have identified at council level, but we will have to plug in. One of those issues we need to plug in the CFTA would be about the SDGs and issues of sustainability. It's all about being responsible. It's, when I hear Richard from Rodrigues, when he says he doesn't like the word economy in the term blue economy, I totally understand what Richard is saying. What Richard is saying and what we all are saying, especially us islanders, it's a question of love. If you love your ocean, if you love your country, you're going to stop polluting your ocean. You're going to stop exploiting it in such a way that it's going to die. This is how you treat your loved ones. You take care of your loved ones. If you love your country, you know. Mother Earth, you call your Mother Earth. You know, even in Latin American countries, they call Mother Earth a beautiful concept called the Pachamama. So we need to take care of our loved ones, including our oceans. Thank you.
Yes, I'll hand over to the commissioner from Rodrigues Island, because there's a question on coral bleaching and the extent to which it is linked to coastal development.
Yeah. Coral bleaching has been, we have experienced it since a couple of years. The last time, as I showed on the film, was in 2016. But what's happening is Rodrigues is surrounded by a coral reef. The lagoon makes 2 times the size of the island, so we have a very big lagoon. The lagoon of Rodrigues is the same size of the whole lagoon of Mauritius. So, unfortunately, what we've seen is it starts from close to the reef, when it's only 1 or 2 meters deep, and all this part is almost dead, and then it went outside. So now, the last time we had bleaching was at 15 meters deep. You imagine? 15 meters. And now we have a lot of problems with this, which is related to ocean economy. Our beaches, we have coastal erosion, we have where people, the tourism industry is very affected. So people who used to come and dive on Rodrigues, they no longer come. So this is very important, that sometimes we want to develop a place, and then finally, like on beaches, and Rodrigues, we no longer give any land to anyone who want to build, hotels. We care for the Rodriguans. The coastal area belongs to the people of Rodrigues first. Anyone who wants to do a hotel has to go a bit inside. So, but we are experiencing coastal erosion. A lot of tourists, they still come because Rodrigues is a very nice island. The people of Rodrigues are very, very nice. My friends here would witness it. And I invite you all to come and visit.
Thank you very much. Maybe I should add something for the African Development Bank. Mauritius believes so much in regional integration that I think we are one of the few countries to be a member of SADC, of COMESA, of the TFTA, and the CFTA. So we've got it all. Plus, we have a Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is also the Ministry of Regional Integration. So that for information. Do we have a few more questions? 3 minutes before cocktail time. No. This is the financial secretary of the Ministry of Finance. We must expel him. He came too late. Yes, I see a question from the representative of Malawi. Yes, sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. My question is to the Commissioner. I like your bravery to ban the exploitation of the octopus, the example that you have given. We face a similar problem with our fish called chambo, which is a very rare species in the world. It's very delicious. When I was a young boy going to college, during mealtime they would bring you a chambo on a plate and it would overflow the plate. The plate was smaller than the chambo, so we called it a shark. I'm eating a shark because of its size. But now you never see that kind of size of fish. I know the Department of Fisheries, they have an annual banning season. But my view is that it is not working because we are not getting the same fish and the same stock of fish. Now the question is simple. The people that fish, they get their livelihood from fishing. And when you banned the fishing, the exploitation of octopuses, it means probably that the livelihoods of the people was also curtailed. What safeguard measures did you put in place for the people who rely economically on the octopus? Thank you.
Yes, I forgot to talk about it, but it's a very good question. You're talking about, yes, these people, when we banned the octopus, what happened to the octopus fishers? That's what you're saying, yeah? You know, we don't believe in just giving money for people to sit down and do nothing. That's not the case on Rodrigues. If you don't work, you don't get money. So it came, the first thing that came was compensation. You need to compensate these people for this time. Because why do we have to compensate them? Because after some time, they will be the one who will benefit from. They used to fish an octopus of 1 kilo. Now they are fishing an octopus of 12 kilos. So they are the one getting much more money. So, but we were not bad, you know, too bad as well. So we thought, yes, these people have got families. They need to survive during the time we closed the octopus fishery. So the financial secretary is here. So we discussed with the government of Mauritius and also with the Indian Ocean Commission, the smart fish. And then we came with something which we call alternative livelihood. So we don't give compensation to them. We make them work during this closed season. So we registered all the fishermen. We already have, you know, a list. And then we just add some more who were really fishermen but didn't have a card to be a fisherman. And then we make them work against ecosystem management. So they came. If they don't come to work, it's like anyone who come to work. If they don't come to work, they don't get money. So they were paid for the money, the work they were doing. So it was like, if you go to Rodrigues, you will see it's one of the cleanest places on this planet, I think. It's because we have 1,000, we registered 1,000 fishermen, and during this closed season, these 1,000 fishermen were cleaning the island every day. So you imagine, they were trying to find, looking for waste. But there was finally, at the end of the closed season, we didn't have a waste. But there's another thing I forgot is we have two closed seasons. There's one with for reproductive purpose by the time the octopus reproduce, which can be done at your place as well. But also, where the problem that we didn't know that after we close, we will get babies, and the babies will come in. So then the fishermen fish the babies when it's open. So then we came to a second closure. This closure it's based on scientific data. It's not just like this. We were collecting a lot of data. So then the last thing we did was we went to another 1 month closed season. And if I give you the result, you maybe you won't agree with me. We get more success with the 1 month closure. The octopus were not very big, but there was more octopus because there was a lot of small ones which, after 1 month you got in terms of figures. So we are, after 4 years of closure, we are back to how it was in the 90s. So, 800, we are close to 800 tons again. So, and we are exporting a lot to Mauritius.
Thank you very much. I will be taking the last question for this evening. The gentleman, the distinguished delegate from COMESA. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Honorable Minister. I was very touched when the Commissioner made his presentation. But looking at people who are relying on fishery, I would like to know if during the banning season, you couldn't find other alternatives, not to stop people fishing, but to let them living with a fishery, because this is what can be identified to them. For example, you could assist these people to develop the cage fishing or aquaculture, while the banning season is helping those small fish to come to maturity. Thank you.
Yes. We didn't close the sea, which I would be happy to do for 1 year at least. This is my next project. We'll be happy to close the whole sea for 1 year to make it, breathe. The ocean has to breathe at some points, But closing the octopus, the fishermen on Rodrigues are not, fishing only octopus. They fish other things as well. So we were not closing the sea. They could fish. They could do other things. But to be honest with you, it's impossible to control this. Even, everybody knows we are in Africa. Rodrigues forms part of Africa. So people, how do you control this if you want to just try to say, okay, we went even to a position where we said, let's close it by region, which is what Mauritius tried. Impossible. The guy, Rodrigues is small. He comes, you close the east, and then the guy will go from the east and fish in the west. So it's impossible. You had to do the whole closure. And the reason I will tell you that it's a good thing, that the success is there. You could see it, you could touch it. And today, there's more tourists coming to Rodrigues, because before we were just eating a small octopus. You don't even getting the nice taste of it. But now, before, the true story is that one day I saw a guy coming from fishing. I said, you have not got anything? Fishing was not good? He said, no, got something for the family. And he put his hand in the pocket like this and removed an octopus. Just imagine the size of the animal, So we had to take, as politicians here, at some points, we have to take decisions. And we have to be firm on it. And this is what we did.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. We are nearing the end of this ministerial high-level roundtable. Before closing, I would like to thank all the delegates from the Southern African region to have been patient and attentive. I would like also to thank the staff of the UN Economic Commission for Africa for the work they've been doing, especially Professor Said Adejumobi, the director of the Southern African office of UNICA. I would also like to apologize for my hoarse voice. Thank the staff of the ministries from Mauritius who have been working hard to look after us. Finally, my thanks also to the distinguished members of this panel. And with these words, ladies and gentlemen, if there is no housekeeping announcement, I will myself invite you outside for the cocktail and the finger dinner. Thank you very much for coming.